Movies. The average person can be inspired by them. They can make us laugh. Movies can keep us on the edge of our seat, and so much more. Maddie's Movie Mix is a podcast for movie enthusiasts of all kinds. We hope you enjoy the show.
Wait. Matt Logan!
Yes, we both had the same problem. You.
Listen. You smell something?
Yippee-ki-yay, this is Tyler Peterson.
So we're just a couple of laymen. No, I didn't say lame men. Laymen.
Laymen.
Just we're average, normal people, dudes that enjoy movies that do this.
Yeah.
This is a hobby.
Yes.
I mean, maybe we'll become famous someday. I doubt we'll be rich, but...
At least we'll be loving what we do.
it's a lot of fun, isn't it?
That's right.
I had somebody ask if we were, this was about a week ago, ask if we would act like this is what we did. And I'm like, no, we just like movies.
Yeah.
And we're just foolish enough to turn a camera and a microphone on and like share our thoughts with everybody.
Yeah.
Or is that foolish or is that brave? Courageous?
Courageous. We're getting our opinions out there on the things that matter.
That's true. It matters.
It really does.
Especially nowadays, I think it's pretty important that we have like our enjoyable outlets.
Oh, absolutely.
Like where we can be ourselves, like
oh my
be you.
Gosh.
Look at that.
You could create a whole motto off of that.
I think maybe I will.
Yeah.
Anyway, now that this lame segment is over.
Oh my gosh. I've been loving these last two intros have been fantastic.
Hopefully it's encouraged people continue to listen to our lame story. Never mind. Anyway. Marvel Comics, we're at it again.
That's right.
Is it The Amazing?
No.
Oh, that's a different one.
That is a different one.
Yeah, that's right.
It's one of those, it's before where we decided to have every superhero movie have like a colon next to it.
Yeah.
You got like Captain America, the Winter Soldier. It's not
right. Captain
America 2. I don't know when they decided doing that. It's probably because they've done all these reboots. And just doing Spider-Man 1, 2, 3. What's Spider-Man 1 or what's Spider-Man 2?
Yeah. Which brings me to my text.
What's that?
I text you like 400 times. Now, just to be clear,
we're that's right.
Watching
that's
the
Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man with,
the plain Jane pun somewhat intended.
Right.
Mary Jane Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
No adjectives, no whatever comes afterwards.
Right. That's just 2.
Just the Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
Actually, it's not even I think it's just Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
It is. Look, Tobey Maguire really, I think, came into his character in this one.
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty, it felt so real.
Yeah.
Like the laundry.
Right.
Remember the laundry?
Yeah.
He puts his suit in the wash machine, pulls out his white boxers.
That's right.
And they're red and blue.
That's right. They're not so
it's
white
like,
anymore.
I'm like, I get that.
That's right. Every male gets that in their college years.
I mean, it's one of those things when, I put my Spidey suit in the wash, everything else comes out like the Spidey colors.
See, luckily, my favorite superhero doesn't have vibrant colors. It's just black.
Just Batman?
That's right.
Yeah. I could see that. You might have to shave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah.
I used to have a whole outfit.
Bruce Wayne.
And it was amazing. My grandma made me a cape.
Yeah, I get it. Sam Raimi. What do you think? You keep mentioning Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi.
You like Sam?
Well, I like this trilogy, and
Okay.
he did this trilogy.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of freedoms with what he envisioned. Because he took some freedoms away from the comics, but there's a lot of areas that he stayed true to them as well, I think.
Like what? What do you mean?
Well, not all Spider-Mans. Like, I think most Spider-Mans in the comics actually, webs aren't organic. And in this, because normally he has to make his own supplies, which they get into in the third movie with Venom, which the third one is not as good. But I mean, he produces his own webs, which is pretty insane. I
Right.
can imagine that. I just can imagine being Spider-Man. And this movie is weird too because it's first one he definitely had his powers, but this one, I mean, we just reviewed No Way Home with the identity crisis. This one felt very similar. He was really trying to figure out, the Spider-Man slogan with great power comes great responsibility, but how do you still enjoy what you think you're entitled to with like love life, relationships, jobs? Superheroes don't get. Spider-Man doesn't get paid. Nobody knows who he is,
Right.
unless you just take pictures
Bruce
of
Wayne
himself.
Take care of him?
He should, but that's a whole different universe.
Oh, okay. That's,
Iron Man should be the one that's taking care of him.
There we go. Yeah.
The other rich guy.
What do you think that, speaking of Iron Man, Marvel, obviously, that's where they really kicked it off, was what, 2008 or 9 with Iron Man?
Yes.
Something like that. And obviously, this is supposed to be, I think, the same universe, isn't it?
Nope.
This is a different universe.
Here's the thing about
that's where I got
Spider-Man
I got so confused.
is weird because Marvel almost went bankrupt, and so it had to start selling its properties.
Right.
And so it sold like Fantastic Four. It sold the X-Men because that's how Fox got it. But now Disney has it's all under the same roof still. Spider-Man got sold to Sony.
Sure.
And
that's
so
right.
now it's separate from like Disney, who owns most of Marvel. There's still some IPs that are, I call them IPs. I think that's video games. So I don't know if that's the same in the whole movie verse. I think so. Intellectual properties.
It
goes both ways.
Yeah, I think so.
So this is technically not even in the MCU, and Disney at this point doesn't even own Marvel. Because that was an acquisition that happened in Iron Man 2, coming into Iron Man 2, which was much later.
Yeah.
So, again, Sony, they didn't even think about the whole MCU universe because they don't have the rights to most of it.
And so when they're doing this, when it comes to it, is this, well, I guess maybe the way to put it would be, is this the universe where Iron Man would exist? Is this the same verse?
That's a tricky question.
The multiverse?
Well, I do know the multiverse. But to me, even Spider-Man is kind of almost like when at least Spider-Man trilogy came out. Because I don't think there was any vision for the other people, they wouldn't even consider it. And so, technically I would say yes, it would be in the same universe, but I don't know if that's actually, I don't think it would have been a thought process about this world building now for these films.
Sure. We got to pause.
Okay.
Don't pause it. We just have to. No, keep it going. Yep. Go ahead, let her out. We don't want that in the house.
Or play in the snow.
I think.
We don't have a problem.
We tried to get her schedule to match up with tonight, but it wasn't working.
It's hard to
They
move the bowels.
They're different. She usually eats about 6:30.
Okay.
Whatever, that doesn't really matter, but that's just how it works out around our house here.
Yeah.
And so then about this time, she's ready to go out.
Yeah.
About an hour after she eats, but try to fed her early, but she still wouldn't go. So
that's right.
It's I don't know.
You got your routine.
Yeah. Those dogs, man. Jackie's pretty good because Javen's schedule is all over the place.
Yeah.
And she's pretty good.
Yeah.
With that adjustment, but most dogs aren't. She's the only dog that I've ever had that really adjusts fine with that.
Right.
So, whatever.
Yeah, luckily my wife's and I's schedule are pretty sporadic too. So our dogs can hold it if they need to.
Yeah. She probably would.
Yeah.
Like under most circumstances, I guess, but certainly she would in her kennel.
Right.
And she likes her kennel.
Yeah.
She when it's bedtime, she loves to go sleep in her kennel. She won't even sleep in the.
Oh, really?
She doesn't want to.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We have an X pen, so it's like basically I guess a pipe pen. Pipe pen is like basically a gate that you can place anywhere in your house.
What'd she do? To the road? Yep. Did she? Was there a rabbit? Time to get her back on that stupid leash.
Yeah, I think so. She didn't even go to the bathroom at all. Right off the deck, hops off the deck, mailbox.
I think we'll have to kennel her when we're doing these.
Yeah,
Just go. Yeah, just go ahead. This Snow, she's been like super hyper and loves like playing in it.
Yeah.
She took off this morning when I let her out, or twice today, but the right direction where she's supposed to go.
Yeah. Dogs are something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm too lazy. I always have them on a leash. We have like a long line that's like 20 feet. And so we just attach them to that and come back in a little bit.
Yep.
And if they're not listening, you can pull.
Yep.
Yeah.
Should have known by the way she jumped off the deck like that. Just like it's the best thing frolicking in the world over there.
That's where all the fresh snow is.
I know. It's hard to get over here. She looks at me, goes the other way, down by where the big pile is that you shoveled out, and then just looks at me, starts eating snow. So, nope, should not have to go to the bathroom.
Where were we?
Talk about the Iron Man being in this universe.
Yeah. Where it was camera on Tyler, so he'll have to keep. Okay. Whenever you're ready.
Just keep going with what I was talking
with
about.
Whatever. Or you just change. But if we keep the camera on you,
Yeah.
because it was on you, and if we keep it on you,
Yeah.
that's the way to start. I'll obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, Tony Stark would technically probably be somewhere in this universe.
Yeah. And it does get so confusing, which we talked about, on the last episode, how they did bring in all the characters and they did a really good job of writing that.
Yeah.
And so, but it's super confusing. And obviously, in the real world where we're at, we see these purchases like Sony buying, Spider-Man, all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And so it gets just more confusing when you go back in time to 2004 when this was done.
And multiverses get super confusing.
Yeah.
If you're just, that's really what it is Iron Man in this universe. Well, what multiverse are we technically in where this comic or this storyline is being told?
Do you think that this one was better or than the first one or not? Just in overall, yes, no.
I thought it was a great continuation of the story.
Continuation.
So I watched the first one again. I watched in preparation for this one because the stories do go. It really does help watching Spider-Man 1, then Spider-Man 2. And
time didn't allow that for me, but
yeah. So I again really like William Dafoe. I think he was a phenomenal villain. So I thought it was a great way to start it up. But I think Doc Ock was a great way to. There was space in the film where it allowed the villain not to be involved, but Spider-Man to be able to figure out his inner conflicts, which I really enjoyed watching.
Yeah. Continuation's a good way to word that. I think this one was better. I think it from memory anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
I did watch the second one again, but I think that it seemed like they had it was more congruent, I guess, throughout the film and things than I feel like the first one was. They're still trying to figure it out in the first one, I feel.
Yeah.
I remember, I should say.
Well,
So
and the nice thing with the second film is they had the foundations already built from the first movie.
yeah,
And so there were quite a few storylines going on through this film. You have Mary Jane, you have Harry, you have Spider-Man, Doc Ock, Aunt May. And so it's nice that you didn't have to
and
have
Peter Parker had conflict, I just want to add, with all of them.
Absolutely.
You know, with his best friend, with Mary Jane, with Aunt May,
Yeah.
with his job,
Yeah.
you know, all of it. He had conflict as Peter Parker with all of them. He
He didn't know who he was.
couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way he was doing it.
So it was nice that they didn't have to do an explanation of who these characters were because we already understood, besides Doc Ock, but they did a nice introduction of who he was and, you know, relative to how it's going to play him turning into Doc Ock.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought it was just as good, if not better, than the first one. But, again, if the first one didn't exist, I don't know how good this one could have been.
No, with the storyline, for
Right.
sure. Yeah, you had to have you needed the first one to do this one,
Yeah.
definitely. I think they did a better job with the acting. I thought was better.
Yep.
I think that I know that the graphics were better. The CGI
Yes.
was much better.
Yeah.
Not sure if I'd go so far to say that, excuse me, that it holds up. It holds up okay.
Yeah.
You know, there's some scenes where it's all CGI,
Yep.
where I think they could have probably done, you know,
More practical.
Tobey Maguire, like green screen,
Yeah.
you know, swinging type, you know, through New York that they did CGI.
Well,
I
what's
think
interesting about the second one is, did you hear they had back problems? Like major back problems.
now that you say that, I remember that from the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it was so bad where they were in the process of recasting him.
Oh, wow.
Which in the person, they had the person lined up to, you know, if it ended up happening, Jake Gyllenhaal would have been the person, or from interviews that I've understood, that he was going to be the person that could have potentially replaced him, which is kind of funny because then obviously now he's in Far From Home as Mysterio. And so kind of comes full circle.
Yeah.
But it would have been interesting if that had to be done.
That is interesting. I remember that at the time, now that you say that.
Yeah.
So this film back in 2003 when they were shooting it had a budget of $200 million.
Mm-hmm.
Now think of this. Titanic was in 99, right?
Yes.
That broke $100 million pretty significantly. I think it was 120 or something, if memory serves.
Yeah.
That was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And just a few years later, they spent $200 million on a film.
Yeah.
It paid off
It grossed 788.6,
in the box office. Yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
And this is a time too where I think I'm going to talk about it later, but superheroes really weren't built up. You had the Batman movies, you had Blade, and you had, I think, the first X-Men come out. But now superhero movies are so prominent, you get one basically every 3 months.
Right.
And so it's crazy to me, too, that they spent that money for this film and it paid off as well as it did.
Yeah, no, it seemed like a pretty big risk back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of your interesting facts other than the back?
I didn't have a ton in this one. Well, in the back, too, did you notice? I don't know. You probably didn't notice because they made fun of it in the movie. Because you remember when he was trying to get his powers back, and he says, "I got it," and then he falls, and then he's, "My back, my back." So it was kind of fun because they made fun of it.
Yeah.
Rosemary Harris, who plays Aunt May, does her own stunts, which is crazy because she was 70 at the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously there weren't huge, like, her character didn't typically fall into where she had to do crazy things, but there was a few times where the Doc Ock
Yeah,
where
she was
she's
hanging.
Yeah.
And yeah.
There's a few explosions, I think,
Yeah.
that happened. So, I mean, it wasn't simple, especially when you're 70. Like, I could imagine, like, nope, bring in my stunt double. 'Cause
Right.
my back.
Yeah. Bring in my 50-year-old stunt double, 20
Yeah, that's
years
right.
younger. I wonder, if she passed away?
I would
think
think
imagine.
so.
But,
But maybe
I
not.
just didn't. I don't know. I just thought of that because
Yeah.
obviously that's like 18 years ago.
And the last one, Peter's landlord,
Yeah.
was played by Steve Ditko,
Yeah.
who was the illustrator of the original Spider-Mans.
Really?
Yeah.
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
He's been in other movies, and he
I
was
think
an
so.
illustrator.
Yeah.
Really? Huh.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He played a good angry landlord. Angry but understanding.
So Rosemary Harris is 94.
Oh.
She lives in or born in England.
I could see that.
No, this wasn't updated. Never mind. She died in 2018.
Oh. Wow.
No,
Man, this story is full of twists.
this is. Hang on, let me look. Sorry. Oh, one of her spouses died in 2018.
Okay. Was she married to multiple people or just
A couple people, it looks like.
at different times?
One at different times, yes.
Okay.
One child.
One child. Peter
Looks like.
Parker.
Yes.
No, just kidding. She's an aunt.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So anyway, yeah,
She looks
94 years
but
old.
She plays a great aunt. She is my favorite Aunt May too.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But I mean, there was this when I think of Spider-Man, this cast is who I think of. Tobey Maguire, very believable Spider-Man. He's very quirky and dorky, but tell he's incredibly intelligent and cares about the people he's with.
Yeah.
Kirsten Dunst plays a great Mary Jane. J.K. Simmons, by far, my favorite.
He's
J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, totally. Actor chemistry in this film.
Yeah, 4.7.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the dynamics between the characters. Again, we talked about Peter Parker was dealing with a lot of internal struggles that it was nice because this is a superhero film, but he essentially lost his powers to figure out what most people go through in their lives.
Yeah.
Like, how do I balance a relationship? How do I balance my job? And then on top of it, I mean, this is maybe the slight difference is that he has these powers where he feels obligated to protect people because he cares about the neighborhood and being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
I like how you did that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So it was cool to see him go through that internal struggle.
Yeah.
And the characters that worked alongside him did very well. James Franco, I mean, he's a character.
He's a quirky guy.
He likes to get in trouble.
Yeah. He's in a fight still with his best friend, right? Or former best friend.
Yeah, it was who is it? Oh, he's huge. Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Kurt Connors, who in the films ends up being like the lizard. Not in these films, but
yeah,
they could have set it up. I thought he was a great... there's just so many good characters, and they were all believable with who they were and their relationships with one another.
I gave it a 4.5. I liked it as well. Gee, excuse me. I like the emotional scenes were emotional. I liked where the seriousness was serious.
Yeah.
And it was all believable to me. Or there's a few areas that were like, that was kind of, they should have probably
The fire
reshot.
scene,
Yeah.
where he's rescuing the little girl and basically just chucks this girl up, and I was like, this girl would have had injuries.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, so he's able to do that quick hurl, but then he's having struggles of just lifting himself up. And so the girl comes around and is like, oh, I'll help you,
Right.
Peter. And somehow that little girl is able to get enough strength alongside Peter's to actually lift up and get out.
Yeah.
That was the one, like,
Yeah.
I don't know where you want to put that, but
Right.
that was obnoxious.
Yeah, that totally was.
Or when Aunt May's beating Doc Ock on top of the tower.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was. Oh, gosh. See, this is what I love about superhero films, is that as long as it isn't taking itself too seriously, and you don't take it too seriously,
Yeah.
like I think those scenes are kind of like they're just fun to watch.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
that wouldn't happen. But again, there wouldn't be a man with 4 arms, mechanical arms, climbing up this building. So
I don't know. Have you ever heard of Elon Musk?
yeah, but he builds spaceships.
No, he also builds these computer chips for your brain.
That's true, but they don't. Do they make you have 4 arms? That's the other thing that
one
doesn't.
would never know.
That's true.
All right, I'm being a little bit facetious. But.
Here comes the Terminator.
Filming locations.
I liked that it was like I loved Peter's apartment. It was run down. I mean, again, we talked. I mean, at least I talked about superheroes don't get money if they're anonymous. Like if nobody
Right.
knows who he is, it's not like, oh, let's make private donations to Spider-Man. So I mean, he is struggling because.
By the way, my Venmo is. No, I'm kidding. Sorry.
Side tangents. So I mean, I thought that was believable. I thought it looked like in New York, at least again based off the time this movie was filmed. It looked very believable.
sure.
So I gave it a 4.4.
Okay. I'm a 4.0 on it. I thought some of the CGI that they kind of put in there, I don't think they needed to do. So that's a location thing for me.
Yeah.
Cinematography, that's not their choice if they're going to do CGI or not. So I think some of the locations could have been a little bit more real.
Yeah.
But so 4.0 on that one. But I did really like how, the apartment, I liked the pizza shop, you know, and they're very real things, very believable places.
The coffee shop.
Yeah, where Doc Ock was working. I mean, they were very believable.
Yeah. I really liked the sun thing. Like it made no sense. Whatever. I forget what it's called. The thing that he was building to power of the universe in Japan.
Yeah.
Again, that's gonna be more cinematography, but I just think that looked really cool.
Yeah, I agree. Cinematography.
Oh, we were just talking about this.
Yeah, which is how it looks on the screen.
Yeah.
That big fancy word again.
What'd you think?
There was, so I'm not sure if it would have been the time period or what, but I gave it a 3.9. There were some things that I thought were too oversaturated with light.
Okay.
Some of the daytime things that they were just like blindingly bright.
Yeah. That's why Doc Ock was wearing glasses. Clearly, you didn't get the memo.
No, I get it. And it was also part of his character to be cool.
Oh, that's true.
But no, yeah. But it was just like, some of the buildings that were shot, it seemed like it was just way too bright. I'm like, sunglasses, take them off. I mean, it was just really super bright. So I didn't really like that. It could have been the time period, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at this today thinking, I might have liked it back then because that's what they did. I don't know. So
I don't know.
But yeah, 3.9. They did a good job with it. Again, I'm not going to say that it holds up, but it does hold up.
Yeah, I think it holds up pretty well.
Can
I tell you about my favorite scene when I was watching it? And so it was when Spider-Man just got done talking, or Peter Parker just got done talking to Mary Jane, and Doc Ock came out and basically attacked them, and then there was that spinny thing. That was really cool. Still not my favorite part. So then he gets his suit back on because he gets his powers. He takes off his glasses, and then he's now swinging down these streets, which I always like how they do Spider-Man swinging down the streets of New York. But then what they do is they have him swinging, and then they do this really cool transition where they pan out from Spider-Man, and then they pan into Doc Ock's reflection of his glasses.
Yes.
I thought that was so cool, the transition from him coming to now we're in the setting where now we're fighting.
Yes.
Which I thought was super cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. I totally
really
agree with
creative.
that. Yeah.
The other part that I thought was really cool, I really liked the train scene.
Oh, yeah.
I think I watched somewhere, and maybe this is completely wrong. I did not fact check myself on this, but when I was in high school, I watched they did superheroes to real life thing. Like, how plausible is this if it would have happened in real life? And so the scene where he's swinging his webs to stop the train from falling off the train, apparently was very plausible. They took it the tensile strength of webs, which, because again, it wasn't like he was building his own webs. It would have been something that been from the spider. So that's where they're getting that science.
Sure.
Fake science because it's a superhero. But that's where they based off their calculations. So they had how many things he shot out, how much time they would have had to build the train. But apparently that if that were to happen in the superhero universe, the physics would make sense.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool.
We should do a show maybe where we could bust myths.
Yeah.
See if they're plausible. See if they're...
I'll reenact all the scenes. You can do the math.
Geometry. It's just geometry.
Yeah. Again, and this isn't cinematography, but I really liked, again, when he's basically collapsed from that train scene.
Yeah.
Where the people are lifting him up in respect of Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was just a really touching scene.
Yeah. This movie did have all the feels.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The excitement, the, kind of the sadness, the disappointment of general life.
He gets the girl, though, at the end.
He gets the girl at the end. Yeah.
So I gave cinematography 4.2. I think it's, again, 2004. It's superhero film where it did do a decent amount of CGI. Apparently Doc Ock's arms were, unless it was in a wide pan or a really heavily intensive scene where those arms were moving, they actually had built those arms where it was actually
that big yawn. I don't know where that came from. Wow, that was all of a sudden. Sorry.
I'll stop talking about Doc Ock.
No, I don't. I really. I mean, did you see me? I'm
did.
all of a sudden whoa, that yawn came out of nowhere.
Oh my gosh.
No.
CGI, I know you don't like it. Just kidding.
No, I'm totally giving you crap.
So, I thought that was pretty cool. Again, when I was watching, I was trying to figure out what points. I mean, obviously you could see when it was CGI, but I was trying to pay attention to when it probably wasn't CGI. That would have looked, because again, it would amaze me because they made, at least the research I was doing with some of the background was that there was a good chunk of it where it was an actual prop and not CGI.
Yeah, I've read that too.
Yeah.
Where they talked. Which back then would have been pretty fun to build something like that, wouldn't it?
I know Alfred Molina was really excited about the idea that it wasn't CGI.
Okay, sure.
So yeah, it would have been crazy.
Yeah.
I want to keep this prop.
Yeah, exactly. Costume design.
I just love this movie. Again, when I think of Spider-Man and who I would think to be on the comics, these movies are what I think of being a classic character.
It's a very classic character feel for me too. Yeah.
So I gave it a 4.7.
Whoa.
Well, again, J. Jonah Jameson is by far, he was so good. You couldn't have done him any other way.
Yeah.
I like the suit. I mean, again, Spider-Man, it's, what else are you going to do with it? And I thought it was cool that you could see, you had the spandex, but then whatever the lines, the black lines, you could see it pop out. So it wasn't just meshed into the suit, but they put the detail to have it more of a pop where it stuck out.
Yeah.
Doc Ock, I mean, the glasses, the forearms, I mean, just the menacing of like, even when he doesn't have his shirt on, like he's not ripped, but he is still. I mean, he looks like a heavyweight fighter where you just
he
would
does,
not want to mess with him.
Right.
Even Aunt May, like I don't know how it would have changed any of these characters' costumes to where I would have made it more believable.
Yeah, but you know, I like that over the top thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. It's hard to do in
Yeah.
something like this. So there's that. But I like that over the top thing, that red dress in The Matrix. I mean, ever since I've seen The Matrix back then, you know,
we just are brainwashed, and you just take out that red dress.
it's
in your head.
totally brainwashed. I get it, but it's like,
What do you think of the bright blue diner dress that, not dress, but outfit that MJ had to wear?
yeah, no, that was really nice. But it fit with the moment.
It did.
You know, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But what if she was wearing the red dress?
I don't know where she'd be wearing a red dress.
Where she wore the blue one.
So you're talking about like the engagement party?
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean,
That's fair.
so that's, you know,
I know.
I get what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
I get that.
I
I'm
like
not
the continuity.
Right.
I think
And-
there's definitely places where red dresses make the scene just pop and make it's
it doesn't have to be a red dress.
Well, I know.
I'm just saying that idea. So in real life,
Yeah.
you go out to places. I mean, people are dressed very differently,
oh yeah.
and this was everybody blended together,
Yeah.
and that's okay. But when you're at a ball like that, I mean, there's going to be some red dresses.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be a main character or whatever, but
Yeah.
just that background, you know, Fifth Element, too. I mean, some of those costumes in the Fifth Element, like, way over the top.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like, I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
Even that one just walking through for 10 seconds or whatever is
Yeah.
like, yeah, cool, you know.
That's right.
You have to look.
I want to get you like a little red dress that you can just stick to your TV.
TV.
And then be like, oh, there's the red dress.
Yeah!
This movie's amazing. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to completely just mock it. But
No, I get it. I'm pretty self-aware of that,
Yeah.
right? And so when there is a film like this, it's a good film. The costumes are good. There's nothing wrong with them. It's
Yeah.
not like they like, oh my gosh, why did they do that?
Yeah.
But I just really enjoy that major standout.
Yeah.
So it got a 4.0.
Okay.
You know, so it's not terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
I might have been building that up
That's
to
still
be
a
this
B.
2.1, but no, it's a 4.0, and because it is solid,
Yeah.
and I get it,
Yeah.
but there's still moments that were there.
J. Jonah Jameson was my red dress.
That's the character.
Yeah. And they
Not-
made the character just match. Like,
Yes,
that's all I'm
No, I
asking
get
for.
it. I get it. What'd you think of the score?
Could tell who the composer was.
Yeah.
It was very Danny Elfman-ish,
Yep.
especially after, because
Which we talked about a few weeks ago.
yeah. Well, I mean, when we did Good Will Hunting, it was a little bit different because it was really wispy. It
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily. So I really, again, like Batman.
But
That's
he
my
has
favorite
this.
superhero.
Yeah,
he does.
He has this. You absolutely.
If
it's
you
his
listen to
style.
Batman,
Yes.
very percussive.
Yes.
And you hear the same thing that happened with this. I thought it was interesting with some of the choices they made with when he was swinging and you have like the like
Yeah.
you know, I was like
yeah.
I mean it feels majestic.
You totally. I get it. Yeah. I know. That was funny. I mean, in a good way.
Yeah, I agree. And I again, superhero films, I like there's a recognizable theme. This is one that doesn't necessarily get stuck in my head, but whenever I listen to it, I know where it's from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I gave it 4.1.
We're tied.
Look at that.
Clearly, I liked it then.
Yeah. That's a good sign.
Yeah. Overall entertainment value for you.
I gave it a 4.4. I thought, again, this is, for me, looking at the context, maybe this isn't where overall entertainment should be, where I'm thinking about this, but again, there weren't. I mean, the Batman films were really dark, incredibly dark. Even like we're talking about cinematography, you could barely see things at times. Spider-Man was a lot brighter.
Yes.
I thought a lot more realistic. It's bringing in human emotion. Again, Blade was. I mean, this was a superhero film that was a superhero film, but again, it brought in a huge audience. I think simply because it had a lot of storylines that people could relate to. Which
it was absolutely very relatable, very real. Like, I get it, man. This is a college kid. Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. I think if you even look at modern superhero, I think that's something that people like superhero films struggle with, is just building. I think there's an allure of superhero, like they're just being this complete epics. Yeah. Where you're like, this is just crazy. Just super.
Exactly. There's no way this is going to happen in real life, but I think it's cool when you have movies like this where it's a superhero. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that. It's a superhero film, but it could very well feel like it could happen.
Yeah. You take out that Spider-Man piece.
Yeah.
Altogether.
Yeah.
And you'd still have a pretty good film.
Right.
It'd be okay.
Yeah.
No, so I'm a 4.7.
Yeah.
Overall entertainment value. Because this is very entertaining.
Yeah.
Like even the scenes that were, like the engagement party.
Yeah.
You know, there was some good stuff in there.
Right.
That's very entertaining.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, oh, this is some boring party, but, you know, he gets slapped.
Yeah.
Twice.
You got that right. And rightfully so.
Yeah, right. So I think that that's why, because there's just lots of different pieces to this that the landlord.
Yeah.
That was entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, dude's on the toilet. And he hears Peter, comes out in his boxers with his pants around his ankles.
And meanwhile, the daughter has a crush on him.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, that's entertaining, right?
Yeah.
So so 4.7. Overall rating for you.
I give it a 4.5.
Okay.
I highly enjoy it. It's one I go back to.
Yeah. I enjoyed watching it again.
Yeah. Spider-Man 1, 2 are one of those that you could just watch over and over and not get bored of.
I'm a 4.2
Okay.
Overall to rate this film. I don't know. There's really probably not much to say there that we haven't
building
said.
up towards something.
Well, what I was mainly building towards was this felt like really good momentum going into Spider-Man 3, and then that just didn't work, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it took too many years to do it, or the writing was just really that bad, or what. But
there's a lot of poop, and there was a big fan.
Yeah,
and they
exactly.
connected really well.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened there, because that momentum 1 and 2. I mean, it just.
I think they went too big.
Okay.
I want to talk about No Way Home, where they went big and it worked well.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3, you have 3 major villains. Again, this is not Spider-Man 3, but you have Venom, Hobgoblin, and Sandman all in one film. None of them have been introduced. I mean, Harry has, but no one else has been introduced. So now you have to build these characters. So I think it was an issue. They went too big. They weren't able to fit the story in, and then it got awkward at moments.
Sure. Yeah. No, that makes sense. So that's what I was going to say. It was just that momentum. So
watch Spider-Man 2.
Watch it. Watch it again.
You can skip Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. 1 and 2.
I don't even know if there's a third one.
Might not be.
They should really, you know what they should do? They should just reboot this series. Twice, maybe.
Maybe. Let's give it a shot.
Maybe get the whole MCU involved.
Right. Let's give it a shot. Yeah. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you. Send us a comment. Tell us what you think. Hammer the like button. Hammer the share button. Hammer out those comments to us. Snide remarks.
I really need to get a hammer. So every time you say hammer, it's...
Have you seen my hammer video?
No.
I'll have to show you my hammer video. I have corny ideas.
Yeah, I have corn.
and I had this hammer idea because I say hammer the like button.
Yeah.
You know, so
Let me get you a hammer.
We'll-
What you need is a T-shirt. So when you get to the hammer section, you just go big. Take off your shirt, hammer the like button, hammer the subscribe button.
yeah, I know. That's actually I'm gonna do a hammer T-shirt because I started a merchandise, a
Hammer
T-shirt
time.
and sweatshirt website, and you know I'm gonna do a hammer T-shirt.
I'll get a nail. We can say nailed it.
Exactly. Peace.
Okay, so I'll see you later, huh? I'll give you a call.
So it's done.
It's done.